Hey folks, Greg here. Today we're going to be unboxing and reviewing something I've never quite done on this channel before. It's called GameScent, and you can smell your own games. Let's check it out. Okay, for those of you wondering if you've never heard of this product, like what is GameScent? I'm just going to read the back of the box that explains it the best. GameScent automatically analyzes what is happening in a game in real time by capturing the audio stream and using AI software to deduce key activities such as gunfire, explosion, racing cars, forest storms, and even clean air, which eliminates the odors instantly. So this is basically a device that looks for cues in games and films and TV shows and sends a signal to their cloud software that sends a signal to your atomizer that's included in the kit, and then does a spurt of oil-infused scents from the atomizer to have you immersed in the experience. Now, first I want to talk about the setup before I get into anything else. It was relatively easy to set up. I had a little bit of difficulty setting up because I have 3 consoles going into a receiver and 1 HDMI coming out into the TV. And it comes with this little adapter that works as a pass-through, and that's what communicates to the cloud and the atomizer. And for some reason, my system did not like having to go through 2 pass-throughs. So I had to get a little creative. I did end up getting it working eventually. The problem was it has to be turned on first before anything else gets turned on. If I don't do that, I have issues. So that was just me, but if you have console or PC and you're going straight into the adapter, into your monitor or into your TV, you're not going to have that much issue. It's relatively easy. Both the atomizer and the adapter are powered by USB-C. That's the cord. No data is transferred, it's just power. It uses its own Wi-Fi technology to talk to the cloud to talk to everything else. The only thing that has to be plugged into the console is the adapter, which acts as a pass-through between the console and your TV. The atomizer, once synced via the app to your Wi-Fi, can be placed anywhere, which is kind of cool because I originally had it behind my TV thinking that I have to keep it behind my TV because that's where the cords are. Later, I moved it to the right of my sofa because it can go anywhere in the house. As long as it's connected to the Wi-Fi, it doesn't need to be near or around the TV or its cables. Then I took out the 6 scents that comes bundled with the GameScent, and those 6 scents are storm, forest, clean air, racing car, gunfire, and explosion, and they each are put in a specific location in the pod. And these are oil-based scents, so they disperse in the air like a normal oil atomizer if you've ever used one of those things. So once everything was set up through the phone, the wireless adapter, and the atomizer itself, I sat down with my wife and played our first game, and I figured what better game to experiment with this than Fallout 4. Those Bethesda games are super immersive. So we played for about an hour, and we did notice very subtle scents filling the room.
Like metallic?
Yeah, well, it's supposed to be gunfire, yeah.
Okay, I think I'm smelling some kind of metallic type smell.
Gunfire, I could describe it as smoky baby powder. I know that's kind of weird, but I kind of appreciated that. I didn't want something wafting to my nose so strongly that I was getting sick.
Still gonna stick with like smoky baby powder.
The gunfire one was not bad. The explosion one kind of smelled a bit smoky. Again, not too bad.
Oh, there we go. We got, ooh, explosion. That was an explosion one. Yeah, because I blew something up in the back.
The worst of the scents was probably car racing. That scent smells like tires and gas, rubber and gas. Oh, it was the stinkiest scent. I do not like that one at all. You can manually release these scents as well through their app. They are on a timer, so you can't like spam it and fill your whole room with like oil-based fog, which you wouldn't want to do anyway. The forest scent was very pleasant, and so was the storm scent. Didn't come up much in Fallout 4, unfortunately. A lot of gunfire and explosions, though. So it was a pretty subtle scent at first. Then my wife got up and went closer to the atomizer, and she found out that it was kind of hanging out all to the right of the sofa. Like that's where it kind of amassed. So when you are setting this up, try to make sure you put it in a space in the room where it's gonna get the most flow, like through the room, so it doesn't just all stagnate in one corner, because that's what mine was doing. But it was very strong once my wife and I moved over there and smelled it up close. It was an interesting experience. The smells are very subtle. They're very, very subtle aside from the racing car smell, which is very strong and potent.
Oh my god.
What, do you not like it?
It's like gasoline.
Yeah, that's the racing car.
Yeah, gasoline, rubber, metal, smoke.
A day later, I sat down and played one of my favorite games, as if you can't guess by the stuff behind me, is Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed. And I wasn't expecting the atomizer, the GameScent, to release any scents, right? It's a Ghostbusters game. There's not a lot of scents in the opening packages that have to do with Ghostbusters. So how would this work? As I was casually playing, I caught the ghost in a ghost trap and finished a match. And that's when I smelled the explosion scent, which kind of smells like burning smoke. And that's when I kind of smiled to myself and had that like aha moment, like, wow, this really is kind of immersive, as I picked up that ghost trap and I could literally smell the heat, smoke coming off of it from the GameScent. And that was a real like eye-opening experience for me using the GameScent. And when like thinking back on it now, it really was cool to experience that. And as I continued to play, every single time I captured the ghost, I'd smell that again.
Sir, what you had there was what we refer to as a focused, non-terminal repeating phantasm, or a class 5 full roaming vapor.
Now, unfortunately, I did play for a very long session, about 2 hours, 2.5 hours for a session. And my wife came down and she's like, well, it's working, because she could smell it through the whole house. And she's a very sensitive smeller. So if you do play it, make sure it's in an area where your whole house isn't getting flooded with that smell. It does what it's advertised to do. It did create a sense of immersion for me, surprisingly, with the Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed game. Now the hardest part of this video comes. Is this GameScent technology worth $150? That's the big question. Well, for me, I got this to review, and I was pleasantly surprised on the immersion factor that I experienced while using it over the last few days. That said, I think the item definitely is in desperate need of more sense. If you play a lot of Call of Duty, a lot of Battlefield, a lot of war games, like they have that box checked, all right? You have your guns, you have your explosions, you have your car racing, you have all that stuff in games like Warzone, Call of Duty, Battlefield. But for those other games like Skyrim, for example, or even Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed, there's very few scents that get released other than Forest and Storm, and then that's about it. You're not gonna have a lot of gunfire and explosions and car racing in Skyrim. Where I see this device really excelling once it gets more sense is games like Fallout 3, 4, and New Vegas, Skyrim. I think this would be incredible in World of Warcraft. Think of all the different biomes you could smell, the salty sea air of Jaina's homeland, the smell of burning hot steel in Ironforge, the dusty desert canyon of Origomar. All these things could be fantastic gateways, and these 6 scents are just the start. If you're somebody who really likes new and quirky technology, and you really want to experience this for yourself, and I recommend you should, I would pick up GameScent. The downside is it's definitely in need of more scents, which the owner of the company, who I interviewed at GDC, said are coming. There are more scents coming, as well as scents being bundled to go with certain games. Perhaps Fallout and Skyrim will get like a bundle package, which would be phenomenal. See, this review is very difficult for me because this GameScent is something you really have to experience yourself in order to understand the impact it'll have on you. Because I could tell you all day that once I captured that ghost in that ghost trap and smelled that smoky burning scent that released into the air, like I grinned, like that was cool. I was immersed in the game for that split second, and it was a really surreal experience. It's going to be different for you too. I feel that if everyone had a chance to sit down and try this somewhere, at a friend's house, maybe at a department store location if they have a demo, I think people will be relatively impressed, because I think all of us saw this at first and kind of rolled our eyes and said, oh wow, what a little gimmicky thing. Who wants to make your house smell like gunpowder, right? But I was pleasantly surprised by the outcome. If you are super sensitive to smells, I wouldn't recommend this. Some of these scents are really strong. Like I mentioned, the racing car scent is super strong. So I would definitely, if you have a sensitive nose or a sensitive household, you should definitely not get this, because it will probably be overwhelming to you. For me, it was pretty subtle, but everyone has different levels of smells. My cats actually smelled it when we were playing Fallout. They had stuck their nose in the air, and they didn't seem to not dislike the scent. They were smelling it. It was pretty good. It's like I said, everything but the racing car scent was good.
Oh,
She does smell it. Our cat smells it. It's super subtle. Like it's
okay, wait. Yeah, I'm smelling stuff.
If you want to find more information about GameScent, I'll leave a link in the description below. And if you have any questions for me, let me know. I'll be happy to answer them in the comments as well. For more video reviews and everything else gaming related, you're already in the right place. You're on Shacknews.com.